We're still factoring polynomials, and this time we're going to solve quadratic equations by factoring. So this involves quite a little bit of work, and I will do a lot of the factoring for you, so that will help you out on some of this. But if you get a chance, it would be great if you could stop the video and factor and see if you get what I get. So we're going to solve equations already factored using the principle of zero products, and then we're going to solve quadratic equations by factoring and then using the principle of zero products. So second degree equations like 9t squared minus 4 equals 0 and x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 0 are called quadratic equations. So they are equivalent types of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where a is not 0. The principle of zero products is an equation a times b equals 0 is true if and only if a equals 0 is true, or b equals 0 is true, or both are true. A product is 0 if and only if one or both of the factors is 0. So to solve these, you're basically just going to set each factor equal to 0 and solve like we've done in the past. So x plus 4 equals 0 and x minus 3 equals 0. We're going to subtract 4 from both sides. So x equals negative 4. We're going to add 3 to both sides. So now x equals positive 3, and your answers are negative 4 or positive 3. And you plug them both back in to the original equation to see if it works. If it does, you should come up with 0 equals 0, and these do. Okay, 4 cannot equal 0. 3x plus 1 equals 0, and x minus 4 equals 0. We subtract 1 from both sides, so we get 3x equals negative 1. Divide by 3. So x equals negative 1/3. We add 4 to both sides, so x equals 4. So our answers are x equals negative 1/3 or x equals 4. We're going to continue on. So now we have 3y equals 0, and then y minus 7 equals 0. Divide both sides by 3, so y does equal 0. Add 7 to both sides, and y equals 7. So our answers on this one are 0 and 7. Okay, we're just going to talk about this slide a little bit because this is what we're getting ready to do. By factoring and using the principle of zero products, we can now solve a variety of quadratic equations. So the direction said to solve x squared plus 9x plus 14. So in order to solve, we need to factor. So the first thing we do is we factor. So we get x plus 7 and x plus 2, and we set those equal to 0. And then we solve, just like we did on the previous slides. So anytime it says to find x or to solve the equation or factor to solve the equation, you need to factor first to find out what x is. And then they plugged each one in to check, and it worked. So we're going to do the next one, which is x squared plus 9x. So the first thing, is there a GCF? There is. There's an x. So we're going to take an x out. So I'm left with x plus 9 equals 0. So x equals 0. X plus 9 equals 0. We're going to subtract 9 from both sides. X equals a negative 9. So we are finished. So 0 and negative 9 are our answers. Now, every problem, in order to solve by factoring or to solve to get x, has to be set equal to 0. And in order to get it set equal to 0, we have to add 36 to both sides. So now we wind up with x squared minus 12x minus 36 equals 0. I'm going to factor it for you. So we get x minus 6 and x minus 6 equals 0. Since it's the same x minus 6 and x minus 6, so you're just going to use it once. So x minus 6 equals 0, so we're going to add 6 to both sides. So x equals 6. Okay, again, remember we have to be set equal to 0. So we need to subtract 49 from both sides. So now we get 9x squared minus 49 equals 0. This is a binomial. First we're going to look see if there's a GCF. There's not one, so now we're going to factor. So we're going to get 3x minus 7 and 3x plus 7 equals 0. So now we have 3x minus 7 equals 0. 3x plus 7 equals 0. We're going to add 7 to both sides. So we get 3x equals 7 divided by 3. So x equals 7/3. We're going to subtract 7 from both sides. So 3x equals negative 7. Divide by 3. And x equals a negative 7/3. And those are your two answers. Again, it has to equal 0. So we need to move the 10x and the 6 to the other side. You can do it in one step, or you can do it all in one step. In 2 steps. It's whatever is easiest for you. So now I have 14x squared minus x minus 4 equals 0. So 14x squared minus x minus 4 equals 0. Again, I'm going to factor for you to make things easier. So 7x minus 4 times 2x plus 1 equals 0. Set each term equal to 0. And then you solve for x. So we're going to add 4. So I get 7x equals 4. Divide by 7, so x equals 4/7. Subtract 1. So we get 2x equals negative 1. Divide by 2, so x equals a negative 1/2. And those are your final answers. I hope you learned a lot from this chapter.